Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing a tier list. We're doing another tier list. We are ranking every current active WWE Tag Team Raw and SmackDown. Forewarning, this is going to be pretty in kayfabe. It's going to take into account the champions, wins and losses, how they're being booked, are they being used, and that kind of thing, as well as a sprinkling, just a dash of my own bias and 2 cents and whatever. Pretty simple. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, turn on the bell for notifications. Never say that. All right, without further ado, let's get started. All right, first team we have up here is Motor City Machine Guns, probably the newest tag team, but also the veterans here. I'd say ever since they joined WWE, they've had a really good run. They've already been the tag team champions. They're still in the chase to get the titles back from DIY. They've had some amazing matches with DIY. I'm definitely looking forward to them maybe feuding with the Street Profits. It looks like that might be kind of down the road, or coming closer. This might be the easy S. I don't want to just give out S's and hand out some easy S's or whatever. But like Motor City Machine Guns are great, dude. They're also like, haven't even mentioned their moveset. They still have one of the most innovative movesets. Like a lot of these tag teams, most of these tag teams on here have to pay a lot of credit to Motor City Machine Guns and give credit to the way they've just advanced tag team wrestling. With that said, Motor City Machine Guns, easiest. We get it. I don't think there's gonna be many arguments there. All right, next team up is the team of Piper Niven and your, my, and our United States champion, Chelsea Green. Now, if this was just individual superstars, Chelsea Green get ranked pretty high, but teams, we're strictly looking at teams, the tag title chase. They've been solid. They've definitely been better. I do enjoy the comedy dynamic they've kind of taken on. It's honestly been like less of a team at this point, especially with Chelsea kind of doing the singles run, with Piper being more of like the silly over the top bodyguard sort of position, definitely the muscle, while Chelsea's kind of been the champ and also taken on, like, 1 week she's the Statue of Liberty, 1 week she's Uncle Sam. I like them both. I really like them as a duo, but as a wrestling tag team right now, we're recording this in the middle of February 2025. Right now, I think they're gonna get a B. They get bumped up because like they're comedic. Chelsea's killing it. Piper's always great in the ring, and also my own all that's my own personal bias again with me liking the comedy thing. Whatever. It's a solid B. All right, next up are the KCs. I think I'm the only one that refers to them as that. I don't know. Caden Carter and Katana Chance. I love them. I think they are so underrated. I would say, looking at the list, maybe the most underrated tag team in wrestling right now. I don't know why they don't get used more. I don't know how they don't have, or how they haven't had the tag team championships yet. They're so good. They're so entertaining. But again, as I said, this isn't all my personal bias. If I was ranking like my favorites, they'd be up at the top. But it's just a dash, just a sprinkle, just a hair of my bias and how I like them as a team. We're really taking into consideration where they are kayfabe. This is almost like a power rankings. You could kind of, don't think of it like that, but you could almost think of it like that. Anyway, they're not going in D. My personal bias saves them from that, but they really, unfortunately, have not been used, have not been in the chase. So they're going to go C, and I hate to do it, but C's for Carter and Chance, I guess. All right, next up, A-Town Down Under. Definitely have been leaning more comedy. Like, that's kind of what's holding them up these days. Also, the upcoming feud and maybe like the slight teases. Grayson Waller teased it even more on Twitter of the breakup, of the split. I think everyone's expecting coming into WrestleMania season, maybe like, I thought it was going to happen in the Rumble, to be honest with you, but Grayson Waller, heel, Austin Theory, we finally like try out that babyface run. So right now, with that said, they're pretty rocky. They haven't been killing it as a team. It's not a C. I think we're looking at a B for Grayson and Theory. Again, bonus points because they're still like, they just interviewed like Obafemi a few weeks ago, which was pretty entertaining and funny. And again, tease like the heel turn. They're still pretty entertaining, but as a tag team, they're not killing it. We're going to give them a B. All right, moving on to your current WWE Tag Team Champions, DIY. Now look, here's where I can admit the bias. I'm not a big DIY fan. People are going to come at me. I've gotten this before. I understand. They are two phenomenal wrestlers. Johnny Gargano and Ciampa, to that credit, have done amazing things in NXT, have had some of the best NXT matches in NXT history, for sure. I don't know. They just don't do it for me on the main roster. They've been improving in my in my personal ranking. I don't know. Whatever. You don't have to like everyone. You don't have to be a fan of everyone. I'm just, again, I'm talking kayfabe, obviously outside of it. I don't even need to explain this. We're all adults here. Outside of kayfabe, yeah, I respect them. They're a great team. I'm happy they're the champions. They're great. But like kayfabe of being a fan, not the biggest fan. What are you going to do? With that out of the way, though, they are the champs. That holds a lot of weight. Should that put them automatically in S? Yes. Is it gonna? No, because my annoying personal bias is too heavy. They're great. They've had some phenomenal matches with DIY, or I'm sorry, with Motor City Machine Guns. I think they can sneak into S. They're an A. A little bit boring for my taste. I don't know. Sue me. All right, next team to bat, we have Yes Boy, Pretty Deadly. Now, this is where I'm going to take like the opposite of my bias into consideration because they are one of my favorites. I'm not going to put them in S. I'm probably not even going to put them in A. My bias, if I did the same bias thing for like DIY in the same scale, they'd get bumped up to A, right? Realistically, I think they're a B. They did just beat DIY with a sneaky little roll-up a week or two ago to earn a tag team title shot. Don't know what's going to happen. It's going to happen in Elimination Chamber. Who knows? Maybe. Probably not. Regardless, they're climbing up the ranks. They're being used again. A month or two ago, they'd probably be C. They've climbed up to B. I love Pretty Deadly. I hope we keep using them. I don't think they're going to beat DIY, but I want to see them with the tag team championships someday soon. All right, next up are your women's tag team champions, Bianca Belair and Naomi. Now, little asterisk. Obviously, Jade Cargill, she's the team with Bianca, and we know the whole story with the injury. Naomi stepped up, blah, blah. In kayfabe, we're taking that into consideration. This team's a little rocky. They're great. They're two of the best in the company. Bianca's awesome. Naomi's always impressive. But there's something there. There's some sort of underlying, again, it's similar to an Austin Theory and Grayson Waller thing. I'm sure a turn didn't happen in the Rumble. I will admit, taking a step out of kayfabe, what are we doing with the Jade Cargill story? Did everyone just forget that image of her fucking dead on the car? We're not really getting as many like Naomi, Bianca sort of wink teases. I don't know what's gonna happen. Did Bianca do it? Did Naomi do it? Did neither of them do it? Do we care anymore? Do the writers forget? Are we dropping the storyline? Is Jade just gonna come back and everything's all hunky-dory? I don't know. Regardless, they're gonna go to their A or S. You know what? Regardless, they have been the champs for a while. They have fun matches, and they at least have a storyline. The story with Jade's all like muddied at this point, but like I think we're gonna put them S. The reason I would want to put them down for A is like the kayfabe, like, ooh, they're kind of rocky, they're in trouble. But throughout all that, they're still the champs. They could both end up being heel. Who knows? All right, next up we have Damage Control, more specifically Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Now these are gonna be the Damage Control representatives. I know we have the Kabuki Warriors, but Asuka and Kairi are both hurt. Dakota just came back from an injury. They had that banger of a match last week or this past Monday on Raw against Liv and Raquel. My favorite of the Netflix era, one above Punk and Seth. Or sorry, not Seth. That was good too, but Punk and Sammy. They're so good. I'm leaning, heavy bias is gonna play in here. They're gonna go to A. Do they need some more wins? Sure. They did just beat Liv and Raquel. That bumped it up, but like looking out of like rankings and wins, Io Sky is the greatest women's wrestler on the planet right now. Dakota Kai is always impressive and is and going to be in that IC title hunt to get that off of Lyra Valkyria when the time comes. Lyra hasn't defended it much. She just lost to Bayley. I don't know. Regardless, different story. They're going A. I don't care. All right, next up is the New Day, the heels. They feel like a B. I really like the work they're doing as heels, but they've only just recently got a solidifying win pretty recently over the past 1 or 2 weeks. It looks like we're going into a feud with Ray. Who's Ray going to tag with? Probably Dragon Lee. Who knows? We're kind of talking about on the podcast. Is that the Mania match? I don't know. Maybe. I think they get a B. They're pretty close to an A. A couple more wins, they get an A, but they really have that like heel character promo side down. We just got to work on like getting some dubs, But in ring, these two are great. I really hope we can circle back someday and get heel New Day versus face Usos. They feel like a good B. I might do some moving around here. Waller and Theory might get bumped down. You know what? Waller and Theory getting bumped down to C. There we go. All right, next up, kind of a confusing one. It's the Bloodline, but also like the Tongas are the team, but Tonga Loa's out. And also Jacob and Tama Tonga have been teaming as of late. So I'm kind of counting it as Jacob and Tama Tonga with like Bloodline stuff in the background. I don't know. I mean, the standout highlight here is Jacob Fatu. He's so impressive. No discredit to Tama Tonga, but I don't really care seeing him in a tag team or a tag team scenario. I want Jacob to go for it, to go for a mid-card title and eventually the world title. He's a single star true and through. Is that even a saying? They're gonna get a C. They're gonna get a C just because they don't feel like a team that's gonna go after the tag team titles. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa did definitely more than Jacob and Tama Tonga, but I don't know. C feels right, especially with the current state of the new Bloodline. We'll move on. Next up is from American Made, the Creed brothers. Phenomenal team. Maybe next to the KCs, one of the most underrated, not as underutilized these days, but They're fantastic. They're two of the best in the ring. This past Monday, they did just have the match with the War Raiders, who we're looking at next. It was a tag title match. The Creed brothers used the belt for disqualification. They stood tall, blah, blah, blah. I talked on my podcast how I didn't love this ending. The Creed brothers are heels, but they're also heels that are two of the best wrestlers on the planet. So we don't like them doing this sneaky DQ shit doesn't really fit with their characters. And I get they're heels, but I'm sticking to that. They're being used. They're on TV more. I like that they're in the tag title hunt. I do think that they will eventually take the titles off the War Raiders. So I think they get a B, but they get those titles, they start defending them regularly, easily jumping up to S or A. Next, like I said, the War Raiders, quick and easy S. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. World Tag Team Champions right now. They are more and more impressive every time I see them in the ring. They do stuff that men that size should not be able to do. They've been killing it, really. I've been so hyped. We all know the story of the men's and women's tag team division, where it's like the stock market. It's 1 week, it's wow, good tag team match. Then for 2 weeks, it's hey, how come they haven't been used in 2 weeks? And so we're taking all that into consideration for sure. The War Raiders have definitely been a team that have, I think, pushed the division to force people to be hey, we should probably feature these guys because they're fucking good. All right, next, a very interesting addition, the Street Profits, the returning Street Profits, the now seemingly heel Street Profits. We are coming off the Royal Rumble, the 2 out of 3 falls match with DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. They interrupted it, caused the DQ, and then, for DIY to retain, and they also attacked DIY after attacking Motor City Machine Guns. I like that they're just on the hunt and thirsty for blood and killing everyone in their way. Sure. As of right now, we haven't seen much else from them. Prime Street Profits is an easy S. We're working back up there. So I think that's a B, but only because they're returning. We haven't seen them back in the ring much or really at all at this point. So it's a B that's going to sneak up to an S that I think if we kind of get their prime status back, they're going to be an S. But for now, respectfully B. All right, one that I think we were all waiting for, the Wyatt 6. I think it's a default to D, and not to be mean, it sucks. I hate putting them there. I'm a Wyatt 6 defender. They're cooling off on them. I don't really know what's going on. We haven't seen them on TV in forever. Alexa Bliss is also back. There's rumors of Alexa Bliss maybe getting involved with the Wyatt 6 again, continuing that story with the Sister Abigail stuff. I don't know. I'm hoping, and I am hopeful, that the Wyatt 6 are going to turn it around. We're going to get them back on TV and they're going to be great. They're also this is another situation where they're more of a faction than a tag team. They're kind of just here for a technicality. So that's why I think D is, isn't crazy. All right, last few we're going to run through. We have the Judgment Day. Again, another faction that has teams in it. We did see, I know JD and Dom team up a lot. JD and Finn were the tag team champions. So this one we're kind of just, we're kind of playing with this loose and fast. At this point where the Judgment Day is, probably C, low B, high C. We're going to put them at C. We all know the Judgment Day isn't what it used to be. Now they're definitely more just a comedy silly act with Dom and Carlito. I'm thinking when JD comes back, he's going to get a pretty good reception from that crazy bump he took. Yeah, C. I don't know. Moving on. All right, next one, we have the LWO, who, God, all these people are so talented. I know we just had Zelina leave it because she went to SmackDown. She got split from the group. This is another one of mix and match, tag teams. You got Joaquin Wild and, oh my God, the other one, I forget their name. You have Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. So it's another faction that's kind of weird to talk about with just tag teams. I don't know. C. They're not featured that much. They're not really in the hunt. Former Rivals, another kind of funny one. Legado del Fantasma. More specifically, gonna think of Los Garzas. God, these two are so good and so entertaining, but again, not very used, not featured. But whenever they're on TV, it's holy shit, I've never seen that before. Whoa, Berto jumped so fucking high. They're also going at D. You could argue they're also going at C, I should say. You could argue D for LWO or, Los Garzas, but I don't know. They're with the KCs where it's they're all great and they're all fun, but just they haven't found that story. They haven't found that spot. All right, last one here is Alpha Academy. I guess more specifically Tozawa and Otis, but I'm counting Maxine. Maxine's kind of now their coach or manager and kind of leads the group, so I'm counting all three. They're entertaining. Otis is always good in the ring, but they really just use him in a comedy aspect. Tozawa is also one of those guys that's just fell into that comedy act, and he can definitely be solid and technical in the ring. I don't know. This feels like a B to me because of how they're definitely super over, especially Maxine. Maxine, her reception in the Rumble was unreal. I think everyone here is great. Maxine has a bright future. So this feels like a B. I don't know. All right, this is our final list. I'm kind of looking it over. I think this is where I'm going to stay. There's some people that could get, I don't know, there's some moves I could make, but like, I'm not mad at where we are. People are going to hate DIYs at A. That's fine. A is pretty, I don't know. Can we bump someone up into A? No, I kind of like everyone in B. Yeah, this is good. Please leave a comment what you disagree. Higher, what should be lower, what got snubbed. Please make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications. With that said, we'll get out of here. Please check out the new Stash Club videos, catch up on my videos, check out everything. I really appreciate you being here. Until next time, goodbye, bye, 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 bye.